He's been my best friend for 40 years, almost. And I can't say a bad word against him. He's the most genuine person. He'll help anywhere he can if you ask him. You know, so I try to reciprocate, but it's not always possible, you know. No, I can't say a bad word against him for that. And his dad too. His dad was a funny guy as well.
Is that right? Tell me about his dad.
He was a businessman from Hamilton, but he just had this way of dealing with grit. He wasn't quite aware of what grit was doing, you know. But every now and again he would, if we were playing anywhere near Hamilton, he'd arrive at the front door with a camera and go click and then disappear. That's all he did, that one shot. So one day he said to us, come up. We went to his house one time, he had a big swimming pool, and when the whole band all went and swam, you know, and carried on. And later on he said to us, come over to the house and I'll show you the film. So we all piled in over to the house in Hamilton and got there, and he's showing us all these films of, you know, Granny and Grandma and whatnot. And all of a sudden, for about a millisecond, was the Friends of Fiddler's Green. And we wanted to go back and look at him. We looked back and he's sound asleep at the projector. And we never did see it again. Oh, you know, it's very basic. It's because he's a nice guy. And he's honest. And he's truthful. And if you ask him for help of any kind, or he asks you, you just want to go with it. You know, that's just all it is to it. I don't think there's anything mystical about it. He's just a nice, warm person. I've slept with him, you know.
That line's going in the movie.
Yeah. And then John Larrabee went on his honeymoon. Got married and went on his honeymoon. And he lived at the back of the shop. You know that flower shop around the corner? In there. And Grit decided to paint the whole house as a gift to John, wedding gift. So when I went over there, he's got a roller and he's rolling the ceiling above his head, and the paint has run down his arm, in his sweater, down through his pants, and was coming out at his feet. I said, what are you doing? I said, get a ladder, go up a ladder and do it out there. He says, I'm afraid of heights. I says, you only have to go up three steps. So I managed to get him up 3 steps with the roller down here. Got 3 steps, he painted. All of a sudden, when I'm back home here, I heard my wife at the time, Margot, shouting, you're not getting in here, and she locked the door. And I looked out, and there was one white footprint all the way across the road, because he came down the ladder and stood in the tray of paint. This is the guy who does all that artwork that you're talking about. Oh, because when he was young, just one thing after another, and yet he created, like, you know, like, just like you couldn't believe he created. It was so beautiful. And yet he was dangerous when he was on his own. So, oh yeah. Well, I don't like to touch Grit's things without gloves. So there's an original Alaska, very first. Do you want to show?
Was, but that's Grit as a young man with hair all over the place.
I'm toying with the idea of sending it back to him.
Well, his son is collecting them, isn't he?
He made me a gift of it, you know, and it's Brazilian.
One of the albums I think they used that for. That, I think, is London Folk Festival up there in 1 year. And they were all young. And so when I first met him, he lost that as well.
And first of all, we rehearsed
it. Here's Enoch.
I don't know.
Yes.
People. And we decided to change it.
Do you know Ian?
My child.
All right. So what are you holding there?
I'm holding a soft Appalachian dulcimer made by Grit Laskin. As you can see, the man was a craftsman. Look at the wonderful way he's put in the frets. But he made it for my daughter, who's now 37.
And she was how old when he made it?
She was just born. This was his idea of a soft toy. buy something like that.
I could put it up for you.
To leave them when I go for my
I'll get
kids.
you to do it when you're
And I
done.
paid $500 for one.